Well, Leslie, good evening. We're seeing a trend now with some buyers bailing from potential bidding wars. More people are only considering houses that have been on the market for a longer period of time, and that means prices may be heading south.
They're the signs of a busy spring, seasonal signals for romance and real estate.
That's when a man's heart turns to love and home ownership, and so a lot of people pile into the market in spring.
For home buyers and home sellers in the Greater Toronto area, it's been an unquestionably strong period.
We're having an excellent year in the single-family home market.
Just consider this Toronto home we profiled when it went on the market in May, selling for just over $600,000. In a moment, we'll tell you what it sold for.
Every house today generally has between 5 and 15 people bidding for the house, and that's not going to change.
But the Canadian Real Estate Association says the housing heat will likely cool through the summer months.
We don't expect the sales activity going forward is going to have quite the pop that it had from April to May.
National home sales rose 5.9% from April to May, and prices across the country are up 7% from a year ago. Still, the flurry of activity is forecast to settle, as is typical in July and August, when buyers take a break from bidding wars, even though there are no signs consumers are really shying away from home ownership.
When people feel good, they buy big-ticket items like cars and houses. So I would think next year's probably a lot like this year.
About that house we showed you in May, listed at $628,000, the seller got 10 offers. The home ended up selling for $862,000. $240,000 over asking. It's the kind of scenario that frightens many first-time buyers, but broker Brad Lamb is warning consumers to stay cool.
So more importantly is buy a house you can afford and live your life.
And as for prices,
We certainly do expect the housing market, in terms of price gains, to come off the boil, and that'll coincide with higher mortgage interest rates.
Now, one reason the spring market was so hot was because it got a late start after a long, cold winter. With interest rates still so low, consumers are generally still in a buying mood. But the Real Estate Association says Greater Toronto, like Greater Vancouver, those are the areas that are the hottest markets by far. Moving just beyond those core areas, and residential real estate values are pretty much, they say, on the 10-year growth trend predicted. Leslie.
As they say, location, location, location. Thank you, Sean.
Well, World Cup.